there, welcome back to the James Show, News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker, and there's a lot of huge headlines with some big numbers in them. $600 billion agreement signed between the United States and Saudi Arabia. A $1.2 or $1.4 trillion deal reached with the Qataris. We have Netflix that's building a new studio within the United States, over $1 billion. But is this actually going to have a positive effect on you and your family? Let's ask a local financial advisor, Steve Cotton out of Addison. Welcome back to the James Show, sir. And I know some people don't like the term trickle down, but it seems like big investments like this could have reverberations throughout the entire American economy.
You're exactly right, James, and thank you. It's such an honor to be on your great show. Trump is playing three-dimensional chess, and that's what people need to understand. This negotiating that he is doing right now has four basic components. It has the obvious economic component of bilateral trade. It has a military component of aid to Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It has a diplomatic component, which the ultimate audiences are also China, Iran, Russia as well. And what I think President Trump is trying to do is to demonstrate that there's much more to be gained through bilateral and multilateral economic deals than by people staying in their respective militant corners and just doing death and destruction.
Well, also, there's the old beautiful part of the capitalist side of the economic thought spectrum that said, wars start when trade ends. And you could say that conversely, when trade stops, wars begin. And the more that we are tied and invested in each other's economy, that has a tendency to just have such an incentive for peace in the Middle East. And I've always said that if you want peace in the Middle East, we should start doing more business with them than less.
Well, I think that is largely true, but there are some possible exceptions. The Iranian mullahs who run Iran are theocrats. They are not economists. They are not strategists. They are not diplomats. They are not economists. They are theocrats, and they are committed to getting an atomic weapons capability because they see that, much like the North Koreans, as the only guarantor of their militant Islamic regime. So it's going to be very difficult for them to make decisions to enable their nuclear program to be disassembled. They are not going to want to agree to intrusive inspections, and those are the only terms under which I think President Trump will do any kind of deal with them. Russia, likewise, has red lines. They must not allow Ukraine to join NATO. Putin is going to play hardball on this, and so as good as these economic announcements are and as huge an impact as I think this will ultimately have on the American economy and jobs and consumers in Dallas, Texas, there's a political component to this that should not be underestimated.
Well, let's also, Steve Cotton, financial advisor based out of Addison, you have clients, they call you and they say, how do I take advantage of this upcoming economic boom? Where do you direct them? Do you tell them just push money into index funds, or it can't be that simple?
Well, I don't make general recommendations. I always look at each client and what their needs are, what their objectives are, what their risk tolerance is. But I can tell you generally that my clients are very richly diversified. They have multi-level strategies. We use all kinds of good investment instruments that are proven. I don't ever gamble with my clients' money. But I think that there is going to be more upside in the equity markets going forward than downside. And if the inflation is now down from 4.3 to about 4.2, it's the lowest it's been in 4 years. And if that trend continues, that's going to give the Federal Reserve the rationale for resuming their interest rate cuts. And if that happens, bond values in their bond party of their portfolio will rise, and that's positive. So I think we could be headed for some very good economic times if all of this continues on track and plays out.
All right, Steve Cotton, you can find him. He's a financial advisor based out of the Addison area. Thank you for sharing your expertise on the James Show, sir.
You bet. Thanks for having me.